Hello everyone, this is RaySpace and welcome back to my Around the Solar System in, well, we'll call it a year, but really eventually I want to do 80 days testing in Kerbal Space Program 1.12 with Real Solar System, KSP Interstellar, and Far Future. So those are the primary mods that I'm making use of. The habitats that we see here are from KSP Interstellar, the tanks and engine from Far Future right there, and of course Saturn is from Real Solar System. So far I have gone from Earth to Mars, to Venus, to Mercury, to Jupiter, and now to Saturn. And these were all different ships. They are meant to carry a particular passenger or set of passengers, but then the passengers transfer from one ship to another, and those new ships will be fully fueled. Or we could have a situation where the ships get refueled, and that can be done if we use one of the next ships that are going to come up, because those have the delta V to do the harder legs. If we try to use a ship like this, well, this can't deal with going fast from Saturn to Uranus, or Uranus to Neptune, or Neptune back to Earth, the three more difficult legs of the journey. Those take longer, and that is simply because the distance between the planets is large. We're basically getting the straight line distance at this point, and the one between Uranus and Neptune in particular, we have plenty of time on to do a very long burn. And so we can use a lot of delta V using the Z pinches that we've already been employing, whereas in the inner planets we simply didn't have enough time to use more delta V than we already had. So the next ship, which is already parked in orbit around Saturn and we'll turn to, but let's just get a good look at this one for reference. This is how it is. 3 big helium-3 tanks, and then 5 of these small deuterium tanks, and those power the Z-pinch fusion engine from Far Future. And then we have 2 spinning habs. So there's a fairly heavy habitat sort of deal. For the higher delta V ones, we'll probably go back to the lower sized habitat. We're hoping to cover the distance quickly enough. And so we've got the Neptune Z-pinch is what I call it, even though we're going to Uranus next. The alarms that we have here, well, we're probably not going to make it. But we're still on our way to Uranus now. We're going to be on our way to Uranus, but we're not going to get there in 16 days probably. That's the Uranus to Neptune window right there. Maybe we can get to Uranus in 16 days, we'll see. Then we'll catch up. We started this whole thing on September 27th, I think it was, in the game, in 2118. And again, I have no idea whether we're going to get such engines by 2118, or maybe it'll be sometime later, but the key is that the planets have to align somewhat similarly to what we've got. The goal is to have as many of the outer planets as close to each other as possible, and in this case we had Jupiter, Saturn, and Uranus basically on the same side in a line, and so that's why this opportunity was particularly good. We've taken less than 3 months so far, but that's already past 80 days. Well, I mean, we haven't passed 80 days yet, but we'll definitely be passing 80 days. So yeah. When we take a look at this vessel, we note that it has 4 of the helium-3 tanks. It has 7 of the liquid deuterium tanks. It's still a Z-pinch fusion engine, same kind of engine. It's just that it's making more use of the potential delta V that it has, and we also have a lighter habitat. So it'll be more uncomfortable for our passengers on this leg. Still a modest vessel mass to launch. If you're talking about how much it's got to take to launch it from Earth or build it around the moon or whatever, wherever you get your helium-3 from maybe, it is 629 tons, hardly a big deal, really, compared to some Mars mission proposals, for instance. But of course, that's all thanks to having this wonderful engine. So we have to have this high-tech fusion sort of deal. Then we can go fast between the planets. So I'm going to aim for Uranus, and perhaps we can go out here. But we are going to need to go out with, well, we've got 3.2 million. We might as well go out with like 1.5 million. So something on that order. Uranus has this interesting system. Do I really want to entertain it? I guess we have to. We have to go in line with all those moons. I mean, inclination adjustments are sort of trivial. It's easy to do them. So maybe I shouldn't even think about it. But I think it would be better if we go onto this side. That's at least less of an inclination change. Okay, so we're going to be using 1.4 right now. Could theoretically use more than that, but you know there's going to be inaccuracies. This 1.4 million is going to take a whole lot longer than the node is currently expecting. So let's enable charging, charge faster. But even then we won't be able to see immediately the stage time, but I'm expecting it to be like 16 days. Wonder if MechJeb can tell me... Yeah, well, okay, 14 days. 14 days. So this amount, it'd probably take maybe 8-9 days. So this is all meant to be a dry run for further planning purposes. And it seems like even if we end up a little bit late, it's generally alright. Because the outer planets don't move a whole lot. Even the inner planets don't move a whole lot when it comes to trips of this kind of duration. Like with the inner planets we were taking 3-4 days, 5 days, 6 days. Even Mercury doesn't move that fast, so that we would like miss it or something, or it'd be in a bad position. But I'll have to come up with a list of opportunities like this 2118 one, and it's not clear to me that you can do this all the time. There'll be specific times that you can do parts of the journey, or you would have to, you know, take longer. So we'll see. If only AI was up to the job, but I don't trust it. And I don't have a computer program available to me that I could probably write some script potentially in R to do this. But anyway, I have not done so, that's for sure. I will have to think about that. Okay, well, we might as well get going. It's gonna take long enough as it is. I think the thrust will be within the time warp capabilities. Oh no, we do have to use all engine mode. Okay. Fine, using all engines, shut down. Okay, then we'll throttle up and time warp. And we are departing Saturn. Well, we still have nearly 1 million to do as we approach the Saturn escape point. We've got an encounter. It's just that that encounter is in 46 days. Of course, with the gas giants, it's easy to have an encounter. I don't really want to be close to Uranus. It probably has some radiation stuff too. Okay, well... we're off, but that's now a total of 18 days, it looks like. But I need to see how much delta V we actually have, so if we are charged up, I'll put a little bit of thrust and activate. We have 1.7 million, let's call it, in 5 days. Well, we need to slow down by 1.5 million. I'm not willing to push it too much harder, but I'm certainly willing to give a little correction, so we'll take the 18 days. Well, if it's only gotta be 1,400, I don't think we need to do it as a separate burn. We'll just bundle it into the slowdown burn. Okay. Going? Or more appropriately, slowing down. The slowdown, get rid of 20,000 eccentricity. That's another way of measuring it. It's a lot of eccentricity. You also have to worry about the fact that maybe I didn't allow enough time here. Okay, well, We need to do 755,000 meters per second in a day and 14 hours. Or perhaps even more than that. Okay, we are in the SOI. Just need to keep pointing in this direction. But our time of escape is actually going down, so that's not good. I misplanned this one. But maybe I can salvage this. Let's see. But then I'll restore a save. Try and do it better. But actually, maybe it's okay. It's going up now. Okay, I think we'll be alright. It's just awkward. So 20 days compared to a planned time of 16. Still late. Okay, we're just using the regular engine mode. Shouldn't be too bad with this much left to do. Oh, but in such a elongated orbit, it's going to take us forever to get back to Uranus. It's going to take an interesting maneuver here. We don't want, like, a 1-year orbit, right? I may have to, like, point at the surface and try to smack into it in order to make sure that we don't have too absurd an orbit. I'm gonna just point at Uranus and burn towards it. Okay, how much do we actually have left? Oops. Charge. 119. Well, I'm just gonna take the 5 days and then capture. So we're gonna be quite late. Might be a little bit closer to Titania on one side, but we'll go with that. So quite a bit late. Could have done it much better if I had done the retroburn on time, but I decided to just go with it and not try to restore a save this time. Well, there's Uranus. Again. Been a while since we saw it because we were too far out. So finally capturing, yes. Hopefully. Oh, I might have done it too early. Okay, I'll take that. Alright, we are in orbit around Uranus in a halfway decent orbit. A little bit offset from the moons, but that's okay. At least we're not intersecting one such that it would accidentally smack into us or something like that. Maybe I'll correct this inclination just for the heck of it. After all, we have to position the next mission in line, so it'll be more convenient. Really close to running out of the RCS propellant here. But that's mainly because I accidentally leave the RCS on when throttling up for the engines, so there's pointless waste. Like right now, if I throttle up, it's using that RCS, but that's not necessary. Okay, 0.4 degrees is fine. We are in orbit. There's Uranus. With a ring, too. And let's get the next ship here so that we can get to Neptune. We're already late. We're probably not going to get to Neptune in time. Maybe we will. Let's see. If we've got this ship, I think we can get to Neptune quickly enough that we can make that Neptune to Earth transfer, or even beat it. We're just going to get another one of these ships, these Neptune Z-Pinches. They were named for the trip to Neptune, the really long one, after all. So I decided it would take a special one, and it was just a bonus to use the same one on the Saturn to Uranus trip. So that's a 45-day trip is the plan, and then we'll take longer than that, obviously. And then I have NSWR's ship, that's a nuclear saltwater reactor ship, the Nemesis, to go from Neptune to Earth, but that might be a different video. And I'm wasting RCS again. Okay, let me set up this next ship. So here's our next ship, which is identical to the previous ship. It's just got the fuel in, and so it's a fully loaded Neptune Z-pinch fusion ship, and I've put it into a very similar orbit as the previous one. And that's gonna irritate me a little bit because our inclination is nowhere near what it needs to be to get to Neptune, so we'll have to correct that. But it shouldn't be too bad. And we will use as much of our delta V to get over there as possible. Now our orbital period is 6 days, and I'm going to assume that we're going to go around in orbit on account of things need to happen around here. I hope I did that around Saturn as well before ending the previous time, but this might make up for some of that. Well, as expected, a lot of inclination needs to be dealt with. Maybe I should just escape and then do things. Being in this orientation doesn't seem like a useful situation. Okay, no, this doesn't make any sense to me. Let me just try and break orbit first. Maybe I can see from here how to change things a bit. Otherwise, I mean, even now, it's inclination that we have to do to turn our orbit like this. 63 days? Well, since the Neptune to Earth window is in 98 days, it was plotted for the original 1.2 million meters per second, that's why. Maybe we can push this a little bit more. How much are we using? Oh, not that much. 48 days. This doesn't seem like that much, but maybe there's some digits over here that... Oh, that's 1.44 million. Okay, that was more than I thought. Let me do this first burn first, and then we'll see. So, we're loitering for 6 days around here. I guess we should stay in this view. Loitering for 1 orbit around Uranus. Okay, activate engine. Same 14-day total burn time. Okay, maybe I don't have the patience for this. Let's go back to the using all engines mode and try it like that. Oh, but we do have to throttle up. So this is just the escape burn. Though we're gonna do the next burn before escaping anyway. Just that I wanted to flatten our orbit out so that it wasn't so awkward. Alright, that should do the trick. I think it's missing a number there. I think it's 1.6 million that we've got. So, that's probably too much. Okay, we'll go with 1.45 million meters per second, getting there now in 47 days, though when we originally plotted it'd be 53 days because we spent a 6-day wait. Okay, on we go. 1.45 million meters per second. Our orbit is indeed changing fairly quickly. And at Uranus escape, how much will we have done? Well, we still have about 1 million left to do. Right now, it would take 151 days to get there. Let me quickly see how much total stage delta V we have. 2.77 million. Okay. Well, then we should be able to do this. Still 48, but at least a flat 48. Okay. It's gonna be in this mode and time warping. Well, there's an encounter. but we'll have to adjust that. I think at this point we'll just adjust it on the retro burn. Let's see. Let's give it a little bit of throttle. And 1.6, yeah, we're pretty tight. 5 days of slowing down. Okay, well, that slowing down will get us there in 50 days. And that's beyond what we've already done, which is 15 days. If we start later, it'd be easier, but I'm gonna be cautious this time. But we're spending a lot of time without doing any burns. If we wanted to just have a burn going on continuously, we would have a smaller engine, but this time I packed extra thrust to match the, so that we could do like the Saturn to Uranus one, which was much sooner, or much quicker. Okay, slowing down. Recalculating. Doing this correction, radial and inclination. Let's just plot a retroburn right there, even though it's not efficient. Of course, we would like to be closer to Neptune, but let's just say we're being safe for radiation reasons. Okay, well, we need 1 day to do that burn, and we can certainly do that inside Neptune SOI, so let's go. No, I guess it should be okay. Oh, there's Triton. Well, Triton is that dot, and then Neptune is the blue dot. Okay, what's our situation? Okay, I think we can wait a bit. Very much in line with Triton. Though, we're going the wrong way around? We're going the wrong way around, gosh darn it. Well, anyway, flipping orbits is not a big deal with these sorts of things, but Triton goes clockwise around, not counterclockwise like practically everything else. So we could have had a head-on collision there. Well, let's just demonstrate that. Oh, I don't want to flip it. Okay. Well, we should probably flip it. Alright. I'll flip to match Triton's orbit. And we're within a degree of Triton, so that's good. Alright. That looks like a good enough orbit to me. Let's get on the daylight side so we can see things properly. Well, here we are. We've got the blue glow of Neptune there. There's Neptune. Alright. So let me get the shot for the screenshot. I mean for the thumbnail. There we are. So I've gotten to orbit around Neptune. So I've completed the journey as far as getting to everywhere. There's just the matter of getting back to Earth. And for that we'll have a different ship because I want to do that as quickly as possible. If we take a look right now, it's March 11th. So we started September 27th and we are at March 11th. So it's taken less than half a year to get through all of the planets. Of course, in this case, we're not counting Pluto as a planet, mainly because it's really annoying to get to Pluto right now. Everything else is lined up okay, but if we had to get to Pluto, you can see if we do the normal Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus thing that we had planned, Pluto's behind, and Pluto is... it just adds too much extra time. So I would love to do Pluto as well, but it's going to be extra inconvenient. And then there's Ceres, Vesta. There's all sorts of other places we could go to, but we're talking about the major planets here. So there we are. So March 11th, and then we have to get back as fast as possible. I'm hoping we can get back in 36 days. The distance between Uranus and Neptune here is actually more than the distance between Neptune and Earth, which is just that much, right? So it's a little bit more. But we took more than 45 days to get over here. I think it was 60 days plus the 6 that we actually waited around Uranus. So probably getting back to Earth, we're talking about 50 days. And so all together, that makes it about, what, 220 days? I think it'll end up being, but I'm going to test it out and we'll see what it ends up being. So March 11th, 2119 is where we're at right now, and technically our imagined passenger would have visited all of the planets. So with that, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do press like. If you have any comments or suggestions, please leave them in the comment section below, and I'll see you next time.